Do not study hard, you will not get anything. Study hard, you will get a big house. Study hard, you will get a lot of money. Study hard, you will get a big husband. Oh no. So you see, we used to evaluate our success by cost effectiveness. But sometimes we don't need to be that result-oriented. The process is more rewarding than the result. You reap what you sow. We are talking about rewards, cost effectiveness. And I added a message telling the audience, the process is more rewarding than the result, just like Toastmasters. So you see, thinking back of the past will definitely give you some ideas as what some of the contestants did this morning. I'm sure this skill is no difficulty for everyone. So next, thank you. Oh, twist. Now I remember there was a time when I took part in a table topic contest. The audience, the question was asking you to define something. And then the audience, and then the contestants, they deliberately twisted it. Now I'm not encouraging you to do this one, but in a job interview, especially when you were handling relationship with your boss, this twist is very important. Remember in the opening, early in the morning, 9 o'clock, I got a phone call from the assistant commissioner asking me to go to his room. And so I went to his room, and he floated that question to me. What was my first response? Kitty, you have not met your target. And my first response was, sir, I understand your concern. This is very important. Twisting the focus, especially when you are handling your wife, asking you which dress you would like to choose. Actually, what is the typical answer if your lover asks you, honey, which dress I should put on tonight for the gala dinner? Okay, the deep V, red, or maybe the golden blue. So what is the best answer to that question?
Oh, no way.
You look so beautiful in what you wear, but then he would say, so which one is more beautiful? Now, when we are trying to twist, it's very good in our daily communication. That's why I like table topics. It's not only about winning the contest, it's about how we apply in our daily lives, even when I handle my relationship with my boss. Now, my suggestion for twisting. Honey, actually, I'm sure you have an idea in your mind. So what exactly is your idea? So in that case, your wife is very willing to share with you. Oh, I think this one is blah, 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 and this one is blah, blah, blah. Oh, ultimately, I decided to pick this one. Next. And then we also have the last one. Okay, segregating the question into components. Well, Kitty is very complicated. No, it's not. Let me give you a topic. It was also one of the topics that I received in the contest. The topic is, right now is, time. Time. How are you going to answer this question? Segregating it into different components. What do you mean, Kitty? Different perspectives. Different perspectives. And I said that time to an old man is definitely, to a retired person, is definitely a redundancy. But for gentlemen like me, but for young lady like me, we are so energetic, we have so much activities. Time is an asset. Time is also very precious at night, because when I work OT, I'm asking for more time. But also time from the family or with the family is very important and irreplaceable. So we can see, I try to analyze the questions from different angles. So it's up to you to apply this technique. Very often, the question being given to you does not have any open-ended question words. They do not have what, why, when, where. But it's up to you as the contestant to add in that. So I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, this tips, they are very crucial in our daily lives. I keep on walking this way because I always think the computer is over there. All right, you have made a mistake. So what is your proper response to that? Suppose your boss asks you, you have made a mistake.
Not really.
Sorry? Any feedback from the audience?
Don't agree.
You don't agree. Okay, next day you are fired. So what is the response that we should post? Yes?
Could you tell me what the mistake is?
Could you tell me what the mistake is? This answer is a little bit arrogant. Don't you think so? Sorry? I realized it now. And I know how to do it. Okay, okay. I'm sorry is the most typical one. But what is the I'm sorry after? What are we going to say after I'm sorry?
Let me fix it.
So throughout my working life as a civil servant, I observed that in a communication with our boss, very often we have three different types of phenomenon. The first type is I'm sorry. You will say I'm sorry, and then your boss will say, you're sorry, of course you are sorry. You should be sorry. And then the communication could not be carried on. What is the crucial element between the communication between your boss and you? The word with 5 letters starting with T. The word with 5 letters starting with tough? The relationship between, oh God, how come you created my boss? I'm sure he must have a purpose. And I know that from God you created me as his subordinate, there must be a purpose. No. Trust. Thank you. How to build the trust with your boss when you have made a mistake? Very creative and innovative.
Listen.
I observed that definitely. Yeah, how can we move to this one? I think we should move back to the previous one. Yes. I think the point is, whenever we try to communicate with our boss, table topics will come into place. The skills we learn from table topics is twisting and acknowledging the emotion. Just now I mentioned there are 3 types of answers when we encounter this allegation from our boss. You have made a mistake. I'm sorry. It's a little bit evasive. Second thing is, I'm sorry, so what? It's a little bit arrogant, right? You are the subordinate. You should tell me what to do. It's your fault, not mine. So I think definitely we try to protect our ego. This is very common. And then let me tell you the truth. It's not good, definitely no good, to use this kind of response. Because the trust will be hindered. Your credibility will be tarnished. And the third thing is, okay, I've made a mistake and I promise that I will never do that again. Typical answer, right? Very comprehensive. It covers everything. But actually, it did not touch on the trust issue. Because your boss is focusing not on your ego. Your boss is not asking you why you have made a mistake. Your boss is not asking you, you are pathetic. Actually, your boss will never say this. Your boss will just focus on resolving the issue. So that's why in table topics, I learned very often, we need to acknowledge the emotion. And then we try to detach our own emotion. We try to present the facts. This is something I learned from table topics. But Kitty, what is the best answer? For your suggestion, I would say 2 types of model answer. The first one, similar as what the lady mentioned. If the boss is a gentleman, I would say, oh boss, you are so smart. You are so intelligent, you spotted out my mistake. And I'm sure that I would never do that again. Yes. And the second thing I would like to have recommendation is definitely is, boss, oh, this is definitely a mistake. I'm sure that you must be very angry, or you must be annoyed or disturbed about this mistake. No worries. I'll take care of that. I promise I will never do that again. So you can see, acknowledging the emotions of the other party. All right, so far so good. Another tip for you, when you, sorry, next one. When you encounter the question you don't understand in a table topic contest, so what should you do? All right, just now I told you I got the championship in salmon, right? Last year, table topics. Actually, in the year 2003, I also took part in the district table topic contest in Malaysia. And the topic was, if you do not hold on to something, you will never achieve anything. All right, the champion, he used this technique. He didn't answer strictly to the question. He said, under what kind of circumstances that people will pose this question? Definitely it must be adversities. That's definitely, it must be some difficult situation that the person is trying to go to overcome, right? So I like this approach because you try to understand the hidden emotion behind the question. Another tip for you, hope that those of you who would like to take part in the contest next year could apply this skill. Next one. Another suggestion. Yes. Well, but I think that is very typical. Talking about the unknown. I shared with you one of the questions that I answered. You reap what you sow, right? The first runner-up in that contest, I was the champion, and the first runner-up in that contest, he shared about, well, actually, I really don't know what the question is all about. But it's okay. In our daily lives, we will encounter a lot of unknowns. So that's why I'm going to talk about unknowns. So I think it's another approach that you can consider. And then we also have, yes, think of your special moments, the kissing of the girls, right, probably. Ask the audience, yes. And next, thank you, Jennifer. Yes. This morning, in the table topic contest, the topic was, which color you would like to use to define your life? Now, many of us here, many of the contestants, you can observe from their answers, they are very eloquent, they are very sophisticated, but they have too much ideas. They have so much ideas, so many colors they want to add in, and so many perspectives they want to incorporate in the answer. And ultimately, nothing comes out. So how can they improve? For you, a very simple idea, suggestion. Remember, coherent is what we talk about in the opening. Always stick to one idea. And always use one personal example to substantiate your answer. Why personal? Because people will not be convinced if it is not personal, right? You're always talking about, okay, the world is green. No, nothing offensive, huh? The world is really green. So what I'm trying to say is, add in a little bit of your personal examples, and people will be convinced. And then try to end it. You can always use association, and also the feelings that we learned about just now. So I think the time is almost up. Yes? Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of recap. What have we learned this afternoon? Feelings. Association. Compare the past, present, and future. Twisting the question. And segregating the question into components. Okay, so are we allowed to have questions? One, okay. Lady at the back. Do you have a mic? Yes, okay. I like simple questions.
So which color would you like to use to define yourself?
Red, definitely. But today I will answer the question this way. Red, it represents sacrifice. Red, it represents something you lose, and then you will give blood. No pain and no gain. As I'm sure many of us have heard my speech last year. If not, I need to repeat it again. I had breast cancer in the year 2010, in March. And that was definitely a life-threatening experience. The excruciating pain that I experienced emotionally. But then, why I still use red to define my life? Because as what I've mentioned, red is the sun. Red represents positive energy. We are all going to die, but we can always die positively, right? So you can always identify your positive energy with the color red. The sun will go down, but the sun will go up. Thank you.